Crosby from the corner, twisting and turning inside out. Beautiful move, trying to get to Son. He holds, he shoots, he scores! Absolutely!
The pitch, high fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives a run of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Look at that logo. 10 seasons. And who did it? Nick, who's the guy that made it? A1?
I forget.
Anthony Veltri did it for 30-some weeks in a row. I've been saying it, and he's here. I just hope he can hear me instead of having the headset on. Okay, he shook his head. I can hear it. Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio, right in our municipal building. Police stations to the right, we're to the left. Mayor's office and library are up above us, so that's where we're at. Now that you know that, thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin. Yes, I said Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in the between and in the greater Pittsburgh area. Thanks for a couple people liking the page. We're at 6926. So we appreciate the likes. We're trying to boost that up. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Smoking Jim Frazier's here. And he just had one question. It wasn't about sports. So as you're watching this show, you might want to give an opinion out here that he goes, what's a good laptop machine? And I told him, my daughter Casey and my son Drew, they bought me a Dell laptop because mine was so slow. They said, Dad, you need a new computer. I go, I don't use it for much. They bought me a Dell computer, and it's a laptop, which Smokin' Jim didn't understand. I had to put down that it's LAP, whatever ends with it. So,
You know what? I asked him, I said, you going to do any video editing with that? He said, what?
you know he got trained for that.
I know he did. And so I was giving him recommendations based off the power. He's like, I don't want a cheap one. I'm like, you going to use the internet? I'm going to use Facebook. Oh, that falls under the internet, Smokin' Jim.
Can I borrow your jail?
Smokin' Jim knows where I live. He told me he lives in Monroeville. I've been to the mall for fights and stuff. And he goes, I live in Monroeville. And I go, where? He goes, Monroeville.
I'm convinced you live in a secret underground floor in the
They call
mall.
me Batman, bro.
All right, we got Smokin' Jim out here with the question. Chip Hayner can't make it. A2's going to fill in, but we're going to Nick Callis.
You didn't go through your...
Where are we going?
I'm just bringing up the names.
Oh, my fault, bro. My fault, brother. I'm just trying to help.
Let me explain the problem. Smokin' Jim comes in about a minute and a half before the show. He came in 9.5 minutes early. And I'll just share this. He ain't been right in the head since. And we got A2, otherwise known as Anthony Payano. And I'm Al Levine, the talking machine, as I said. And we're going to try to carry on. I'm going to have to see if A1 can handle my promos. We do community service. I just wanted to explain the reason I do this is we're public access TV and we do community service. Olive Oil's Pizzeria sponsors our show. They're at Hillcrest Shopping Center. Can't beat that. I met a fan of ours, and he wanted a couple business cards, so I don't know if A2 ever got one, so just wanted to put one out there. There's a card for you, just in case, because people know I carry it.
I think I got a second one. This one's like one.
We got to have a little fun. I like to have a little fun. Check out the Italian food there, desserts, you name it. They even got ziti. They got all kind of gourmet pizzas. You know how gourmet pizzas are. They got chicken, pineapple, all kind of stuff. They got soup there, homemade soup there, and it's delicious. I've had their chili there. They got desserts there, different pies. They get sent to the place. So check them out, 412-831-1900. They sponsor us with a steak hoagie cut 6 ways so we don't fight, and a 12-cut XL pepperoni pizza. Check them out. Very delicious. We enjoy it each week. Next up, all right, let me pull one of these up here. How'd A1 do on that first one? He was all right? Let's see how this is. I hope he has autofocus. Do you think it is? Yeah. Yeah, we got
Probably
autofocus.
is.
I understand that. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You look like you got arm trouble. We end each show with Stay Joey Strong. And Joey Fabus died at 8 years old before his 9th birthday of dreaded brain cancer, DIPG. Photo before, photo during DIPG. And they started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation to find a cure. They've raised over $100,000. I've talked to Dr. Gary, who works at Children's Hospital. They're trying to find a cure. And he said, stay tuned. We're getting close to finding out a little bit of a cure to help with DIPG, to maybe extend their lives and find a cure. So check that out. That's Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. All right, another 501c3. The B in Always Be Smiling is Bennett. He was 16 and a half years old, died of health complications. He had 2 kidney transplants. The last one was by his dad, Dean. So Dean and his mother, his father and mother, started Always Be Smiling to honor Bennett. And he was just a great kid, always happy, happy-go-lucky, even though he had numerous health problems that would hold a lot of people back. So they donate money. They get donations. They're a 501c3 for everybody but Smoking Jim. You can write that off on your taxes because I assume everybody else is claiming income. And if they're not, then they didn't get any. If you're Smoking Jim, he hides it. And if you're an IRS person, I'd give his number out, but I forget it. And you can donate what you want there. They help families that are having children with kidney transplants and others. So, and they do great events in our local area. So check it out. Next up, another 501c3. Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. Look what A1 did on autofocus. He pressed the button. We're good to go. 2600 South Park Road. It's the old trolley there, the red and white trolley that you've seen. Can't miss it. They have a dance studio. They have an artist there. They got my favorite coffee shop where I get tea. Yes, green tea. And it's called Reginald's Coffee. So check them out. And you can go in there. They got Wi-Fi and everything, Smoking Jim. So you can hang out there and have great coffee. Friends of mine tell me it's better than Starbucks and anybody else's coffee around. So they got
my Dale with me.
Is he talking about the singer Adele? Because I notice an accent. I think he was trying to be entertaining, and he come out with Adele. But that'll be your Dell laptop. All right. This is the birthday girl, Kathleen Miller, needs a kidney. Her function was 17%. She made a flyer. Her kidney function went to 16%. When it goes to 15%, she found a donor, because we've been trying to get somebody to be a donor. She'll tell us when that day happens, because she did find a donor, and she thanked us for promoting it each week. Kathleen, if you're watching, hello. Hope you're doing well. And she did celebrate a birthday last week. All right. This sheet of paper is starting to crinkle up, A1. You did your best, but we'll see what you can do. Is there auto? Look at that. It's hanging. Oh, there we go. Oh, he fell on. I want you for BPTV. You could be a volunteer. If you're in high school, come on out and help us out. We've had some people in the past, like Devin Shea, worked here for about 18 years from high school. He was one of the best here. These young guys never met Devin, so he was one of the best.
I met him once.
Did you?
Nice man.
Oh, he's legendary on his camera work. He could do autofocus without touching anything. It was amazing. He was good. He went on our on-location shows, and look, I've done a record 10 years of not missing a show, and he was there. So, and what a logo with that 10-year season by A1. He just walked away so he can hear that. But I want you for BPTV, 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable we heard Uncle Al Levine, the talking machine, say he needs you. Like A2, look, he made it in front of the camera. He's been doing a great, and he dressed in black, so he goes with Smokin' Jim again. They must be on email together, because I know he's not following him on social media with all those sweeties.
It's a black thing.
And then we got, are you talking about yourself? Then we got Nick Callis.
Oh my goodness.
Helps out at the Fan, helps out at BPTV, went from behind the camera to in front of the camera.
I took this guy's seat for a while.
That's the reason he's here. How
Yeah.
long ago was that? What was that famous day?
January 14th, 2021.
Wow.
Yeah. Never forget. Never gonna forget. I'm sorry you got in an accident. I wish you would give us updates when you're in the hospital as well, but he does not.
Let me explain something. We didn't know he was in an accident, except the police department lady came down and said, "Are you waiting for Smokin' Jim?" And I said, "We never wait for him. He comes in whenever he wants." She goes, "He was in an accident, had a head-on accident, and the paramedics are with him right now."
And them nurses too.
Well, no, they were later.
Well, yeah.
Nurses were later.
Not a paramedic was nice too, you know.
They were guys.
Oh,
He fell right in there. You notice I did. Woo! All right, check out You Can Work at BPTV. You might be able to have some fun at Smokin' Jim's expense because he lets us. Because he don't tell us anything about himself. We don't know how old he is. We don't know if he graduated high school. We know he didn't go to college because he always turned the books in for money. And then he told me a story a few years ago. He goes, "Hey, Machine, did you ever have your pay attached by a school to pay back loans?" I said, "I didn't go to college, buddy, so no." I'm just saying. Bethel Park Community Foundation has grant money for you. $100 to $5,000 for anything you're doing to help others in our community. We've given out over $1 million in 26 years, and we give out over 100,000, 200,000 a year to groups in our area. So check it out. Go to bpcf.org, and you can get money for your group and organization here. So check it out. Glad to help promote them. And we start our show off with What's on Your Mind? Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want to green,
Here, nice and easy.
you got to see Levine.
Thank you.
No white cornerback in the NFL can cover me when it's not in there. But
Smokin' Jim, we don't understand your joke.
hey, he almost intercepted a pass, Nick.
No, he didn't.
But
He
this-
missed it.
that was a distraction drill.
But there's nobody that fights for the white cornerback harder than me. I've been doing it for the last 10 years.
You named your car
Reverse-
cornerback because it's white.
Yeah,
You
reverse
remember that?
discrimination. I know some white guys can play.
Yeah, but Smokin',
cornerback
before I
in the NFL.
disclaim that, these are his own opinions.
You don't
and-
think there's white guys that can
And
play?
I don't know who he's even telling. He met with Roger Goodell, and he told him what a great guy he was.
Did you really?
And there was a witness to it, so I found out what he was saying to Goodell. He said, "Thank you for eating lunch with me. It's so nice to be here." And somebody behind him, white cornerback. He never said a word.
But hey, Al Levine, the talking machine.
Yeah. What's your point?
The love of my life, Miss Robin Allen.
Yeah.
Said she watched us last week. She says she never laughed so hard in her life. She enjoyed it, and she's also a spiritual mentor. You know, she's a
She's
a
a
pastor.
minister.
She's a minister and a pastor.
Robin, hello. I miss our days with you coming to the show, and we interviewed you a few times. and she's just an inspiration
Yes, she
with
is.
what she did. And she was even going to Clareton, and you told her not to go there,
Yeah, I tell everybody stay out of Clareton.
and that's why they don't like you.
I'm not liked in Clareton and a few other places like Aliquippa. but
Well, why would you think that?
but hey, Levine, the talking machine. Before the show, I was telling everybody I need a laptop. I'm buying a laptop on Thursday. I talked to 2 college graduates, Ryan and A2. I said, give me some advice on laptops.
No, you talked to 3.
Yeah, they both said, "Oh, we don't know."
Hold it,
nothing about
I got to disclaim it. You talked to
even
the.
though they got a computer degree.
No, they don't have a computer degree.
That was their way of saying, we don't give free advice, brother. You got to pay us. We went to school for this kind of information. But hey, Al Levine, the talking machine, I'm going to be real quick.
You already went deep into this.
Hey,
And apparently I didn't graduate college, so that's cool.
huh? Well,
How many college graduates did you talk to?
with
Because there were 4 of
that
us in the
little
room.
flimsy piece of paper you got.
All right. Nick's forcing me to do the first official disclaimer of the show. These are Smoking Jim's opinions, and I just have to share this. Traditionally, in 10 years, he's been wrong almost every time on a disclaimer
It's not even an opinion.
because there's
I have
4.
actual evidence.
There's 4 degreed workers here. Degreed. We don't know if you have a degree because you've
I
only.
got a sheepskin.
You never showed it. You never ever showed it. And you did something even worse. You said they can go to Cal U. I had a couple kids that I met that were going to Cal U for football.
Or the Art Institute.
They said, we'd go back. We'll come back and tell you. Not one of them came back with any record of Smoking Jim. One of them came back and said, we think one of the older guys said that maybe he was here. And he goes, I'll try to find a record. He's graduated and gone. But other than that, he's an entertainer.
But this is what's on my mind. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine.
What is it?
You know what I mean?
No,
Like
I don't know.
Like I said, on draft day, I said that T.J. Watt was the greatest linebacker in Steelers
Hold it. You're
history.
living in the past.
Well, this is
What is going on now?
I'm bringing it up to date, and now
Okay.
I'm saying that he's the greatest Steeler of all time. I've seen Mean Joe Green play, but he wasn't no T.J. Watt. I said before, and I'll say it again, that Zach Banner was a bust, and
Hold it.
people.
I have a question. Who said Zach Banner was any good at all?
Well, 2
And
years, $9.85 million contract. The Pittsburgh Steelers made him their highest paid offensive
Excuse
lineman
me.
here for a minute.
Who's the owner?
Mr. Rooney,
Which one?
Art.
Okay. You said you didn't respect him as a lawyer. How do you respect him as an owner, giving a guy $9.8 million who only had a radio show
And,
or a
and
podcast?
listen, this is a guy.
See, you
that
can't
was-
answer a question.
This is a guy. That
I
was
surrender.
6'8", biscuit short of 400 pounds. He ran the 40 in about 5.7. You know what I mean? He wore number 72. He was a folk hero because he was in a 2 tight end offense on the goal line. I've never seen him block anybody. He ran around, just picked people up in the end zone.
Wait, before you get
You know
too
what
far, how many games did he play?
Again, after he got the
can't
money,
answer me.
he started.
Try to answer
He
the
started 2 games and was injured in both those games.
So what are we talking about, a career?
We're talking about if
dude.
I could see it, Al Levine, the talking machine, how come Adrian Clem, the offensive line coach, couldn't see it? How about
You
Sean,
can't even pronounce his name.
Sean Charette? How come he couldn't see it?
He wasn't here.
But Al Levine, the talking machine, the Pittsburgh Steelers now got an offensive line coach that I endorse. You know, the greatest offensive line coach in the history of the game is Mike Munchak. And the second greatest is Russ Grimm, who's, let's keep him in your prayers. Right now, he only got one leg, and his health is
Oh, you're
pretty
kidding.
much on borrowed time right now.
How do you know these
Russ
things?
Grimm, I got inside. I'm Smoking Jim.
I didn't ask who you are.
But let's keep him in prayer.
We just want to know where you're coming up with all this stuff.
But Pat Myers right now is going to get that offensive line in great shape. He has he says this is his 5th NFL team, 6th professional team, and I highly endorse this guy, and hopefully he won't leave.
Say his name again.
Pat Meyer.
And what's he do?
He's the offensive line coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and hopefully
What kind of success did he have last year?
he won't leave.
What success did he
Hopefully
have last
won't
year?
leave in 2 years because I have no confidence in his assistant.
Is your
Isaac
hearing all
Williams.
right, or is it as bad as your eyesight?
No confidence in his
No,
assistant.
is your
Isaac
hearing
Williams.
okay? Or
What
is
makes
it
you think
just-
we're going to get medical information out of this guy?
No, but I'm asking.
nothing
I've
wrong with
asked
him.
questions numerous times.
Huh?
Is your hearing as bad as your eyesight?
What you asking?
What did he do last year as a coach?
Did great.
What did he
Last
do?
few years. Outstanding.
Hold it. Here, let me explain something. I asked Smoking Jim how was he in the hospital. He said I was great. They kept him for a week.
Well, the Carolina Panthers.
If he did great last year, they didn't do anything.
Carolina Panthers always had a good running game, and when he was with the San
Wait,
Diego.
wait. Christian McCaffrey was their whole running game.
Well,
What happened when he was out?
before that he was with the San
They signed
Diego.
Cam Newton when he was out.
Before that he's with the San Diego Chargers, and you can't deny their running game.
You can, though. You definitely
Not
could.
when he was there. Not when he was there.
When was he there?
They let the NFL
What year
run.
was it?
He only was with Carolina 1 year, so the years before that he was with the
More than
San
one,
Diego.
more than two, more than three?
Yeah, more than two.
Okay, so 3 years he was there.
More than two.
Now, we got it narrowed down. Thank you, Smoking Jim. You proved that your hearing's on par with your eyesight. Is that all you got?
That's it.
So we're hopeful for an offensive line coach we don't know much about.
And I've been right on with the offensive line. Whoever I said was going to be a bust was a bust. Offensive line coaches I said that couldn't coach, they're all fired now and gone.
He's never wrong.
Smoking Jim.
I'm only right 97% of the
Smoking
time.
Jim, I'm
only
wrong a lot
3%
of times, but I asked like who our center was last year,
Yeah.
and they said he was a guard in college,
Yes, sir.
and they made him the starting center.
That was a mistake.
So I questioned the whole coaching staff,
That was prior to Pat Myers.
the whole coaching staff, whoever's still there and whoever's not.
You heard it before Christ, before Pat Myers. That was before Pat Myers.
That's before P.
It'll be a change. A change is coming, brother. And his name is Pat Myers. New marshal in town. And his name is Pat Myers.
Well,
the sheriff.
Smoking Jim, you gave me so much lack of confidence here on what we're going to see. I'm not real happy about it.
Well,
we
I
need
just-
new
I
players.
just wanted to tell you that I'm glad that Zach Banner is gone. I'm the first.
I didn't
to
even
say
know
that
he was
would be a
here.
bust.
Let me explain something. I watched all their games, and I didn't know he was a player.
Boy, they loved him, and he ain't never did nothing.
He was great behind the microphone, but that doesn't make him a lineman.
Even his daddy was lazy.
Oh.
How do you know that?
His daddy played for the Oakland Raiders
Oh,
and for the
okay.
Washington University Huskies.
See, you know
Lazy
more.
man.
How do you know more about banners?
Lazy.
You know more. Here's how we don't know what
Hall
Smoking
of
Jim.
Fame talent.
He's talking about Banner's dad, and he can't tell me about the name stuck in my head. Pat Myers.
Yeah, Pat Meyer.
He
But
can't-
not with an S, just Meyer.
Well, in Pittsburgh, we had an S to
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. Most
Like-
of it is with an S.
Like you're Frasers. You're from the Frasers family.
I'm Mick Frazier on Irish Day.
Wait.
What did that
That's
have
not
to
even-
do with any question I've asked?
What?
Thank you,
Irish Day.
Smoking Jim, for now. I don't usually say this, but I actually know less now than what I did before he started
How do
talking.
you get a stereotype wrong? They're not the Irish isn't the.
St. Patrick's Day.
Did we miss St. Patrick's Day? When was it? When was it?
Did you know March was Women's Month? I didn't know that.
Smoking Jim, you know my friend Joanne Forrester.
Yes, yes.
She has a Celebrate and Share Facebook page that promotes women history. And guess what month she does it in?
March.
Yeah. And guess who invited me to go to a fundraiser at the Lamont?
Really?
Joanne. Yeah, I was there
Oh,
for
that's
lunch.
nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm just sharing you that My mind's a little more open than yours, so we're going to close the door with Smoking Jim for now.
A2 looks dumber now. Look at him. You all right?
Yeah. I'm just enjoying the time.
I know less than what I started with. What are we supposed to do? Oh, Nick Callis.
I think, yeah.
What's on your mind?
I feel dumber as
You
well.
should. You're sitting next to
I
him.
got a headache. I don't know if I should be offended because I'm Irish.
You should.
Whether he doesn't know what day St. Patrick's Day is, or if he's acting like Mick is the most stereotypical of the Irish names,
did he
which
even
it is.
answer
No.
any of my questions?
No questions answered.
And you know I can ask questions.
I don't have a college degree anymore either, so that's just the reality of my situation. What's a computer? Yeah, I think I said this, but I asked him, I'm like, hey, are you going to use it for editing? Because I know you work at a couple TV stations. What is that? What are we talking about? So none of that either. So I now have a headache. But let's talk about sports. Yeah. So Kansas won yesterday in the men's March Madness tournament over UNC. And I was real sad about that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I like Hubert Davis. He's a nice guy. That's his name, right? No, did I get that wrong?
Yeah, you got it.
No, I got it right?
You like him?
I do. He seems like a nice man. Hubert Davis, the head coach at UNC. Seems like a nice
He
guy.
did great. That was his first
Yeah.
year.
No, I know.
Smoking Jim, do you understand a coach that gets to the finals in their first year, that's a good thing?
I know
Do you even
know-
understand that?
I know they was up by 15 at halftime, and then he got outcoached.
That doesn't mean I don't need to like them. I'm a big fan of underdogs in sports. I didn't fill out a March Madness bracket, and a lot of my colleagues.
I never do.
A lot of my colleagues at the Fan did, and they're all upset because they're losing money or they're feeling cheated. Well, they got to fill out 10.
Just look to your left.
They got to fill out 10 brackets.
Just look
too.
to your left
I see
how
'em.
he is.
No, I got it. So I like to be relaxed and I like to watch. I basked in the glory of St. Peter's beating Kentucky in the first round. I was just like, this is wonderful. I like upsets, and I don't have any money on the line or any pride to deal with. I just get to enjoy the madness as it happens. But that's why I like UNC, because UNC knocked off St. Peter's. So I was like, well, if any team was going to beat the Cinderella story and go and win the
I
win the
hated
finals,
that they beat the Cinderella team.
I did too. But if any team who beat the Cinderella team is going to make it into the next rounds and go to the finals,
they
got to win.
Didn't they knock off #1 Baylor too? Mm-hmm. So they
Yeah,
have some resume.
They do now. Yes. So I like St. Peter's.
I don't even listen to Smoking Jim because he basically knows football. Because look at Pat Meyer. We know nothing about him.
He played baseball before.
No,
he
he
knows a
didn't.
couple sports.
He doesn't even know who his catcher was, and he was a pitcher like Vida Blue,
Can you?
who was left-handed. And Smoking Jim, look, he's right-handed.
I don't know if we can prove that.
All I know,
No, look at what he's got his napkin in. What hand is his napkin in?
It's in the right idea.
all I know is Coach K only got 5 championships in 47 years. That's all I know.
Let me do the disclaimer now.
Well, pick me. I got a
Smoking
response.
Jim is disrespectful of 1,200 wins, and he would have fired Coach K when his first 4 years he was losing, because he took over a bad program, so it took time. And what has Smoking Jim done lately in sports? That's what I ask,
He's eating sandwiches.
and he's good at it.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, carry on.
So yeah, no, I mean,
We'll try to get through this.
yeah, I was upset that the UNC team could not pull it out. So sad face, and I love
Did they
upsets,
choke?
so I hit.
Did they choke?
They
or
kind
they
of,
just get
they kind of,
beat?
no, they kind of
Okay.
choked. They kind of choked. So that wasn't favorable. And then I don't like when a #1 team wins either, because then it's just like, well, you're the best and you proved it. That's no fun. That's not madness. So Kansas #1 team.
I like when they win.
I don't.
I do.
I like the madness.
Because you know what I appreciate?
What do you appreciate?
The hard work that they did to get to that position.
But colleges they're imbalanced. You
And
got
the hard
more-
work the coach did to inspire this younger generation
Think-
who I don't understand that much.
Yeah, but then they get to recruit and they get to find the best players from high school to come in and
Hold
do
it,
well.
but
So,
there's
I mean,
one thing that makes a difference. Have you seen great players on a team and not win?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they got the team to win.
Think about how hard St. Peter's had to work, though, with the resources they had to even knock off some of the higher seeded teams in the tournament and make it to the Elite Eight. That, to me, is more impressive than a team who already has a good college basketball resume and can recruit people based on their reputation. The best players in
Here's
the
the,
nation.
here's the most profound statement I had from our friend Pete. He said, I think the show has evolved to need a fact checker. Well, Pete, I second that emotion. You can be the fact checker of Smoking Jim on every show.
Please do. Yeah, let the audience do the fact
So
checking.
welcome aboard.
That's fun.
Hey, thanks to Chief McElroy. Thanks to Jim Ellenbogen. Thanks to Amy for being on the show. Thanks for Ralph for watching us. Bill Means, thanks for co-signing Zach Banner is the worst we ever had.
And someone said Chuck McElroy?
Yeah.
He said Bethel Park loves Smoking Jim. And then Bill Means also said that accident explains a lot. ... The accident. So that was kind of funny. That's what's on my mind. I'm good. I like sex.
Hey, we appreciate Nick coming up with Facebook Live so we can interact with you. And to all of you who haven't acknowledged that you're even watching us, we appreciate you too. You don't have to be public with us. And Chuck used to call everybody Chief when we were 18, 19 years old, so we just started calling him Chief. So
Well,
Chuck is Chief.
He speaks for Bethel Park.
Well, he lives in Bethel Park.
Well, you're favorable. Congratulations. You found a region that isn't Monroeville. Or the Gateway School.
And Jim Ellenbogen has this great point. The great offensive lines find a niche to make them a brotherhood. This team didn't. And give them an identity. The 70s lines identified by their steroid use, cut sleeves, and weight room guns. I added the steroids in. Never underestimate the big guns. It's mad, wild caught, famous. He's copying off my Speedy Gourmet show. So thank you. All right, we can get to, who's this guy next to me filling in? A2, Anthony Paiano.
Thanks, what's been on my mind is still the NFL free agency. Tyrann Mathieu is still not signed yet, which is very disappointing to me. I would love to see the Steelers sign him. I think he would be a great fit. He has a lot of money, and he's a little old, but I think he's worth it for like a short amount of time, maybe 2 years, just to have him on the team.
I like your statement.
Yeah. Then for
Talk to Art Rooney.
he's not going to do that probably. He wouldn't. He's probably going to sign somebody though.
What about Terrell Edmonds?
He was not good.
What, he played for 4 years. Banner
Yeah.
didn't even play for a season.
He was always getting torched every play.
Did you think he was a #1 pick that was a step too slow?
He was really.
Me too. That was my
He was
thought.
really.
He always got torched.
He always did get torched every play.
Yes.
For somebody not preparing, let me explain what A2, the pressure he's under. I just told him when we come in, Chip couldn't make it, and sorry, Chip missed the show. He doesn't watch it, but Chip needed a break. He does lawn service, and he has a knee replacement. He's trying to heal up, and he needed to rest that leg because he's been out there with the good weather and bad weather. So he's doing that. So he had 2 minutes, unlike Smoking Jim, who got 7 days in a hospital to think about what's on his mind. So look at how he's doing. This is his 5th great show. Paiano, you're the best.
Also,
Go ahead, throw it out there.
the draft's coming up soon. I think it's this month. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, a couple weeks maybe.
I agree that with Nick that they should take a quarterback in the first round.
Yes.
I think it should be rather if Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett's on the board, take either of them. It's worth the experiment with either of them because it's good to have. We're going to have 4 quarterbacks at that point, but it's nice to have some competition amongst the position, and then we could fill out the rest of the positions later on the round. You can find some hidden gems on the D line later.
My
Or
God.
O-line.
We're getting too much wisdom. The NFL scout gave us nothing. Matter of fact, we just came back. Pat Meyer, we're supposed to remember him. And what's he have to work with? Right? Should we get an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman? You think that might be a possibility?
Yeah.
What's your thought? Now, I know you're only, 21?
Yeah.
So look at the wisdom he provided. And Smoking Jim's at least double that, maybe triple that age.
I
I'll
watch
just share
football
that.
players.
A2, thanks again. I appreciate it.
That's what's on my mind.
That was a good one. I appreciate it. Ooh, let me see. We're getting some comments here.
Woo, I'm glad he's articulate. We thought with the
Ralph
hood he might
Williams.
be the Grim Reaper.
Ralph Williams gave us an update. They signed Terrell Edmonds to a 2-year, $50 million contract, $20 million signing bonus.
No way.
Too slow. Edmonds got a deal.
No way. That's
Where do you get signed?
That gotta be Fitzpatrick, if anybody.
Bill
wouldn't
Means
sign him.
says Chuck is the only guy that ever said that about smoking. Wow.
I didn't even know you got signed. I'm surprised.
And then
No way. No way.
Bill Means agreed with me and
April
you
Fool.
on Edmonds. All right, so we got that covered. And then Bill Means said, good analysis, A2.
Thank you.
My guy.
Amy in the bakery at Giant Eagle had a day off today, and she said the Pirates lost 5-1. Don't tell Chip.
Does that count?
No.
Not yet.
Smoking Jim, let me explain something. The preseason for them is the Grapefruit League because they're in Florida, and they call it the Grapefruit League.
Don't they usually start
He's
in
only
April?
been with us for 10 years.
It's a lockout. Did you forget about that?
Explain him what happened. On a
There was a
side.
lockout, and they didn't play any spring training games, so the lockout was resolved. And since the lockout was resolved later than the start of spring training, they canceled some spring training games and pushed back the regular season start to a week.
Since you were chatting, Bill Means said Penn's 1-1 tie. They're playing tonight.
That's not clappable yet.
No.
We need to do better than that.
All right, I'll try to do what's on my mind. Women's basketball. How about South Carolina goes up against a legendary team, UConn? They had 11 wins in a row and 11 championships in March Madness. Guess what? South Carolina beat them. And here's what I thought an interesting stat was their center, what is it, Aaliyah Boston? She had 16 rebounds. You know how many rebounds UConn had? 24. How's a team do that? And I heard they had like 49 rebounds, so they deserved the win. I enjoyed watching the whole game. Women's sports, I always remember my sisters having to watch me play baseball. And they became sports fans somehow. So Article 9 that they started out there, or Title 9, that they started 50 years ago, congratulations to that. And it is great watching women's sports at times. It's a great breakthrough from all the men's sports and all the corruption with officials, teams, owners, etc. that we see. It's all changed so much with sports. But I did watch the title game, and I was sort of rooting for North Carolina till I saw the game was up 15. Then North Carolina ends up losing to Kansas, who has a great team, didn't miss any opportunities, and played like true winners. And that's their 4th title that they got. They almost caught Smoking Jim's disrespect of Coach K. So to me, March Madness was great, and that's what I have to say on it. And we're going to come back in 10 seconds with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac with a great graphic. Disclaimer to Ralph Williams. I don't know if he knows what day it is because he's friends with Smoking Jim, and he even has Smoking Jim on his show that he does on PCTV, so check it out. Check out his Facebook page. You can't do an April Fool's joke on the 5th.
He did call it late April Fool's.
No, but that just shows the logic of our show. We try to put out a few facts for Pete because I didn't want to check the facts with Pete on that one. So no further ado, fact check, fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, and I think we'll all agree and have to disagree.
Disclaimer right off the bat. I haven't talked to Smoking Jim since he got out of the hospital and we did boxing on Saturday. We didn't talk about anything like this.
But well,
And I don't agree.
Maybe we don't all agree, but
I don't.
But Kansas, outcoached North Carolina.
Why the
and
giggle?
And the coach that
Oh, why
you
the
like.
giggle? Why the
And
giggle?
coach that you like for North Carolina.
Smoking Jim, can I ask one question?
Yeah, he'll be fired in 2 years.
Did your dad have wisdom when you were growing up about watching sports?
My dad's wisdom came in a belt. His belt ought to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, well, my dad had some wisdom with basketball. And I'd see coaches that were great coaches and stuff. And my dad would go, you can't be a great coach without good horses.
North Carolina got good horses, but not a great coach.
Who won had great horses and won. That's my point to you. We try to use some facts. He tried to diss it, so thank you, Smoking.
Well, as we move on, hey, listen, I got to agree with A2 and Nick, and I've been saying it for a long time that my highest rated quarterback since Russell Wilson is Malik. And
What's
you
his
know,
last
Willis.
name? Okay.
And it would be a bust of a draft, in my opinion, if they don't get him. Just like I said last year, by any means necessary, they needed to get the running back. But we covered quarterbacks last week. I'm going over the offensive line.
Nick.
And I think the offensive line is going to be much improved this year. Dan Moore got some good experience at left tackle last year. I think Kevin.
Hold it, how good was he?
He came on.
He looked like a rusty gate at times. You know how they wave by and they come in?
Well, there will never be another Villanueva here, who I think that should go right into the Steeler Hall of Fame.
Okay.
They play for the Ravens.
Yeah,
He's done now. He retired.
Villanueva was just a great offensive lineman.
Wasn't he big?
He was big.
You could fall in front of guys
But when
more
he
than
had
he
bad
did
games,
that.
his bad games lingers in people's mind. When he had a bad game, it was a really bad game, but he didn't have many of them. Left guard, I think Kevin Dotson's going to improve with the help of Pat Meyer, offensive line coach. I'm not ready to give up on Kendrick Green at center. I think with some coaching.
Holy heck, Smoking Jim. I played center. If I would let a lineman get in on the quarterback or the running back 5 yards deep, they would have threw me off the line. How do you change that?
Well, I'm not ready to give up on him, but
I gave up on him
maybe
already.
the Steelers they brought in Mason Cole.
Maybe
at
they'll
center.
spray some magic powder on him and he'll play better.
and you're wearing North Carolina colors, I see. Hey, offensive guard, the Steelers brought in, they was very active in free agency. The Pittsburgh Steelers brought in James Daniel to play offensive guard. And the Steelers got to live and die with Okafor, Chunks at right tackle, made him the highest paid. My highest rated, now for the draft, my highest rated
All right, folks, get ready.
offensive tackle.
That's what I'm asking you.
Yes.
About
Since
time.
since
What took so
Baselli,
long, A2?
I don't know.
since Baselli, and maybe one of the greatest offensive tackles I've seen since Bill Fralick, a couple white guys, and this
Where'd
guy's
Bill
white, too.
Fralick play at?
Bill Fralick played at Pitt, and he played.
Wasn't
at
he a
high
Penn
school-
Hills guy?
He played at a high school near Gateway.
Penn Hills.
And
Thanks.
there's this guy from Northern Iowa that I would love to get in the first round if we don't get a quarterback. His name is Trevor Penning. This
Can you
guy,
spell that?
He's Penning.
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 Okay,
And I
because
tell you what,
I'm worried about your accents.
he's 6'7", 335 pounds. He runs a 4.840. He set a school record with 650-pound bench press. Squat. He bench
Which is
presses
it?
425.
Okay.
He bench pressed 225, 29 reps.
Where'd you get
which
your
is
facts from?
Which is outstanding for an offensive lineman with long hands, long arms. This is a guy that put on nearly 100 pounds since he's been in college and gained 2 inches. He got the nastiness of Conrad Dobler. He's the Jack Lambert of left tackles. And I tell you what, I never thought I'd see anybody as good as Tony Baselli. I'm looking at one right here in Trevor Penning. You can pencil him in for Canton right now, and I would be honored for the Pittsburgh Steelers to draft him. He's an immediate starter at left tackle. Dan Moore becomes a flopper between left tackle and right tackle backup.
Well, Smoking Jim, I don't like your analogy about he's like Jack Lambert because he's an offensive lineman.
You can be mean, Conrad Dobler.
Yeah, but he was not the greatest guy play-wise. He was a little bit cheating and stuff.
People feared going to
Well, he was
feared for their
hurt.
life.
He was hurting people.
Yeah, he rolled up back.
Hey,
to the left.
Jim Ellenbogen has this to say. Listen, I held a two-man sled for Freilich when he was 6'2", 220 at 11 years old,
Yes, Morningside Bulldogs.
and he was with the Morningside
Yeah,
Bulldogs.
yeah.
Jim has been around. Not only is a political great guy, but he knows sports,
All the Freilichs were
and
great.
he knows my wild-caught fish on the Speedy Gourmet.
That's
He's
impressive.
a fan of wild-caught.
That's good stuff right there. That's a dedicated
Bill
guy.
Freilich. That's the only
Definitely.
team he could play for because they didn't have a
And
weight.
Bill Means said that I was correct about Freilich at Penn Hills because he doesn't know why you're prejudiced because you're in Monroeville and Gateway and you don't talk about Penn Hills.
Well, you remember you were saying that there's a lot of teams that with a lot of talent that can't win championships. That would be Penn Hills.
He went undefeated a couple years ago. What are you talking about?
Thank you, Smoking Jim. We're not going to fact check him because if he doesn't find something negative, he ain't Smoking Jim. But he does it with a smile. All right, 10 seconds till we hear Nick.
First of all, I just want to say, my good friend from back home, Joe, liked our Facebook page on Sportsline. So thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
And my friend Chloe's a regular watcher, so she was
Thanks,
watching today.
Chloe.
And thank you to everybody who complimented my haircut. I appreciate that. I got some messages. And
Bill
comments.
Means,
Yep,
my
he's
KO
on.
guy, likes that cut.
I appreciate all of you
Hi,
for your nice
Chloe.
words. She has a boyfriend, so that's stuff for you.
Never stopped him.
Yeah, no, wouldn't stop him. Anyway, so, okay, my opinion. So, I was watching MLB Network this weekend, and I found out that the Major League Baseball Network had released their top 100. Brian Reynolds made it to 43. 43, so he's in the better half of the 100.
He's in the top 50.
I was shocked by that. Yeah,
You know
he's in
what?
top
You
50.
can say he's top 50.
Top 50. I mean, that's pretty good.
Just trying to help.
No other Pirates made the list. Tier.
Why are we getting rid of him?
I don't think it's going to happen, but you know.
Why are we getting rid of him for $675,000? He only wanted $675,000 more. They were going to make the team around him. How did that change? Oh, wait, I got one word for you. N-U-T-T-I-N-G. Somebody explain what that is to Jim.
Do you understand? Okay, he understands. So,
First time in 2022.
so
He could spell and comprehend.
I guess this will be a part of the opinion, though. I don't think he's going to get traded. I think Bob Nightingale's Twitter report was the thing that set that off. And, you know, I don't really trust USA Today as much as some other sources that I know of and that
Who do you trust
follow.
in the media?
I mean, I trust MLB.com. That's where I got a lot of those
Okay.
transaction sources. Usually they come out with reports.
Did they all pan out?
Yeah, every single one that was reported.
See,
came to be.
at least you
So-
throw some facts at that I can check MLB.
Yeah.
Smoking Jim gave us, there's a black hole there, literally.
I mean, Ken Rosenthal, any of those guys.
there's a black hole of information right
Yeah.
next to you.
Any guys that are established, I typically trust. Bob Nightingale is more of a national, like USA Today is trying to, you know, stay relevant. So I mean, you know, throw a report out there and see what happens. I don't think it's going to happen. But that's not why I mentioned. That's not
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill.
That's not why I mentioned Brian Reynolds. The top 100.
Why
was,
did you?
The top 100 is what I wanted to focus on
I
because
missed
I was
that.
watching and they're counting down, and you know they got Juan Soto and Fernando Tatis Jr. in the top 5, and I'm like, that's great. And then my dude Mike Trout popped up at second, and I was like, oh Lord, who in the world could be better than him right now? And
Who
when
is?
they went to the number 1, I was like, I have no idea who could this possibly be, and the number 1 person was Shohei Ohtani, and I was like, I agree with that. I'm sad that Mike Trout's no longer regarded as the best, but when you think about it, you got a guy last year who had over 40 home runs as a hitter, knocked in a bunch of RBIs, had a solid average. let in less than 3 runs a game on average.
Wait a
and
second.
less
It
than
was
a
100 years since a pitcher
Right.
had hit home runs and pitched like that.
Exactly.
Babe Ruth.
Right.
Anybody hear about that except
Yeah.
for Smoking Jim thinks he's a Pirate fan?
So I ride the Mike Trout train because I believe he's one of the best talents that we have in the game, and I think he's under-recognized because of the fact that he's in an organization that isn't doing well in the Angels. But at the same time, you got to give Shohei Ohtani the credit that he deserves. So I'm willing to concede as a fan that number 1 spot to Shohei Ohtani because I think he earned it. I think what he's doing is impressive, and I think as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be the next generational talent and do things impressive that we haven't seen as long as Al said in 100-ish years. So that's my opinion for today.
Thanks for the credit, Nick. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that. And thanks for your baseball analogy there. All right, we're going to A2, otherwise known as Anthony Payano.
I mean, we don't gotta.
Take
Whatever
2
you
with
want.
A2.
Yeah, take 2 with 8 too.
Yeah. Whatever you want to bring up.
Yeah. Me and Ryan were talking about it before the show started.
Just to
when it
clarify, Ryan hasn't told me more than 10 words in 10 months.
Yeah, that's true.
So
he's
go
not,
ahead.
He's not a big talker.
But you got him to talk. What did you two talk about? I'm very interested.
He brought up a good point of when it comes to predictions before any sports season, and we were talking about the NBA with the predictions of who's going to be in the finals this year in the NBA.
Oh.
And the 2 teams that
Ryan, way to go.
and before the season started, a bunch of analytics were coming out it's going to be Lakers versus Nets, and how wrong they were.
Great point.
The Lakers are no longer in the playoffs as of right now. If they lose tonight, they are out of the playoffs officially. They're not even in the play-in to make
Right.
the playoffs.
Great point. You're on fire tonight.
And then the Nets have fell off to the 10th seed. They are still in the play-in as of right now. They're probably not going to fall out of the play-in, so they still have a chance to make the playoffs. But it's just amazing how before the
Wrong.
season they were both seen as the super teams that won't be beat, and they are now not even 500.
Wow.
It's kind of insane.
I'm glad he filled in tonight.
Yeah.
That is
It's
great.
interesting how
Way to go.
sports analytics are wrong a lot, especially predictions.
I try to tell people, go by the eye test. What you see people doing and playing instead of listening to Smoking Jim,
Yeah.
you find out the truth. Because I don't care who your coach is. I know if 5 of you can play ball or 6 or 7 of you on a basketball team, and if 11 guys, it's a team sport. You can have Tom Brady, but hasn't he had a pretty good offensive line when he was playing before he retired? And how about Aaron Rodgers? Does he have people that can catch a ball where he's one of the greatest, but he's a choke artist in the postseason? No, I gotta do what's on my mind. I mean, my section. What is it? I even forget. I'm so confused because.
Cha-cha-cha on location.
Oh, thank you.
Da,
10
da.
seconds.
Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
Bill Means, I showed Payano what you wrote. He's smiling. So he's on fire tonight. All right, on location, we were at Northway Christian Community Church in Wexford. What a facility. You talk about a great room where we had boxing. I had a tripod that was sliding down, so I had to film it. Nick couldn't make it. Nobody else there could help me. And we had a little bit of an angle. So if you watch it, Dave Cable posted that up today. We got the fights, 12 amateur Golden Glove boxing fights. We saw a guy that won 4 in a row, Josh Mook. He just come back, boxing for his dad, Jack's boxing gym, Jack Mook, and he lost a close fight there by decision. And we had a knockdown, a policeman, Devon, D-E-V-O-N, Siegfried. He boxed one heck of a match, knocked the guy down, won it on a TKO, and he's going to go on to the championship in our arch enemy town, Philadelphia A. And they got great boxers there. Smoking Jim said he will win. We had lady boxers to start off the night. They were great. Aviana, who was in the first fight. Her dad was one of the referees next to me. So we had a great time. Great facility. A lot of our fans and new fans were out there. I passed out a few business cards because they wanted to know where to watch the fights. So now they can see it. It's on Pittsburgh Sportsline on the page. I posted it up today. You can check out the commentary by Smokin' Jim and myself. We didn't script any of it. We didn't know any of the kids, well, any of their records. They somehow don't give us that information, so we sort of wing it. And we just enjoy the hard work that the coaches and kids put in. And it's just a great event. And we were excited. We saw Gloria, who runs the Golden Gloves. And we heard the name Jimmy Savetic because it's all about the kids. Jack Mook put on a great event. We were honored to film and announce for him. And he loves the show and likes what we do. And we're helping to promote these families and kids. And they're going on to the finals next. So it'll be a good night. And I just wanted to share that. We're looking at possibly doing a boxing show this weekend, maybe in Monroeville. We're not sure. We didn't get the word yet, but I talked to Gloria. And then we're going to the haunted prison on the 16th. We're going to be in Monsville, West Virginia. Smokin' Jim will drive me and Nick down. And I guarantee it'll be an adventure you won't forget, Nick, all the way to Monsville.
I took the trip the first time.
You understand what it was like.
Yeah.
Bill Means, thanks for watching the fights. And we appreciate that. Bill Means said Nick is the man tonight.
Ooh.
So we're getting compliments from old KO. We appreciate it. We're down to the last 2 minutes. We'll talk a little bit of Penguin talk. They're playing. They're going to get into the playoffs. They got to stay healthy. Jari's been having a great year. They got to rest some of these guys, like Letang's averaging 25 minutes. I say give him a little break on the power play. Give him a couple minutes off because come playoff time, he'll be up to 29 minutes a game. And if anybody's really honed their game the last 2 years, I'm a Letang guy. He's cut down on his mistakes. And offensively, he's done great. And even defensively, he's come on with his speed. So, and we have some good players out there. And Sidney Crosby at 34 is not only playing offensive at high levels, but we're taking for granted his defensive abilities. He's just doing great. Nick, you want to add anything on that?
Not about Crosby specifically, but on the Penguins.
Yeah, you can talk Penguins.
Yeah, I'm scared of the Rangers now. The Rangers are really good. And if they
well,
make
we're
the
close.
I believe that they could overcome, but it scares me because the Rangers are good. So
well, here's what scares me. Jari come back for a great year this year and one of the top goaltenders, but he did terrible last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he just gave away a game and stuff like that. We're running out of time, but I'm hopeful that he got rid of the Jari curse.
I'm sure he'll be fine. That's not what I'm worried about.
You're just worried about
I'm worried the
Rangers
Rangers might be better in the playoffs than the Penguins.
Well, I'll just share this as a little insight. They're a little bit faster than us, but I like the grittiness in the Penguins. I'm not giving up on the Penguins. I think we can get out of the first round for the first time in 4 years. And I want to thank all of you for watching our show. Loved your comments. Missed a few comments because it doesn't always show up. Thanks, Smokin' Jim. Thanks, Nick. A2, thank you. You were great. And please stay Joey strong.